Hello. Hello. Just making sure where I am and what I'm doing. Okay, it says my stream key is not working, so bear with me, everyone who is in here. Just give me a moment. It does say I am live on YouTube. Just making sure I am live on Facebook at the same time. So please just bear with me. A little glitch happening. I see myself here on Facebook. Welcome to whoever's joining with me. Please just bear with me for just a minute. I just need a new stream key for the Be Live. Copy. Hello, Kevin and Adriana. Hi, Marissa. Hello, and Amy. Hello. Perfect. I'm glad you can see me. There is a glitch in the stream key. That's all. So just let me fix the stream key. All part of streaming. Okay, got it. So that's what I'm doing when I'm trying to get the stream key right is that every time I use my Be Live broadcasting, I have to go into Facebook Live, get a stream key so that it connects into the Facebook stream as well. Even though I'm on the live, it doesn't pick up all of my stuff. So I should be on Facebook and I am on YouTube. I know that because Kevin is on YouTube watching. Hello, Liz, and happy birthday, Liz. Yesterday, I'm like, oh, I just had my grandbaby, so you know how that goes. No time to pay attention to anything. And Tammy, hello. Hello. So if you've seen the title of this one, what I'm doing is the same thing I did last month. I just want to get this done because it's going to be, a busy few days. I got lots happening. Going back into the school, More Than Existing Academy, we have new programs that are starting live. If you have not seen my Diamond Effects, so my Diamond Effects, the level 2 of Diamond Effects is starting. It's a healing program that I teach and that I've created. So level 1 was already done. You can still get the discount on that today, or the savings on the 60% savings on the level 1 pre-recorded only today. It ends. Oh no, tomorrow. Sorry. August the 30th. I have been in this loop that I'm a day ahead of myself constantly. And then I also have coming up, and then so level 2 then is starting on Wednesday. So you don't have to have level 1 completed to do level 2, but it does really add to the essence of what you're learning if you do the Diamond Effects level 1 and 2. But you can start the level 2, do the level 2, and then go back whenever and do the level 1. I will be doing some going over in the first couple weeks of the level 2 some of the things so that we're refreshed upon the level 1. So if you're interested in my Diamond Effects level 2, the healing program, then go into the MTE Academy and you can sign up. It starts, not tomorrow, it starts Wednesday. It starts on the 31st. It's an evening class. It is live. It is interactive. And I am right there on the screen. And then also Lisa has, starting in mid-September, Lisa has a human design class that's starting up as well. There's just so many things. And then there's another Goddess Within Sunday morning gathering that will be starting as well. That will be coming up. Hello. I'm just waiting for some people to join in. Hello, everybody. Carlene, I love you. Oh, it's right across the screen. I love your look. Thank you, Carlene. Hey, everyone who's joining. Who we got? We got Christy and Karen and Kathy and Carlene and Wendy and Yvette and Destiny. You're welcome, Liz. I think I've said hello to everyone else. Okay, so what we're doing is we are just quickly doing the same thing I did last month. I'm going to do all of the energy forecast, not astrology reports, for those born under each of, not those, but the collective energy of the zodiac signs. I did it last month. I'm going to do it again live this month. And then it's up. So you can go back and watch them time and time again. Last time I forgot Scorpio. And so I had to go back and do the recording for Scorpio. This time I wrote the babies down so that I know which sign I am collectively catching the energy for. Not all the way channeled in yet. So I'm just waiting for the energy to come all the way in, letting people join in and to be a part of this. So you listen for your sign. It may not resonate with you. Remember, it does not replace any advice that you have been given, medical, psychological. This is to be taken as entertainment. If it resonates with you and it helps and guides you in some way this month, then yay, but it is for September. We are in Virgo season. First day of school tomorrow. Oh, yes, it is that time of the year again. Hey, Karen. A long time. It's been a long, long time for me for school. Next will be my grandchildren. My grandchildren are getting ready to board a plane to go to Newfoundland. I'm so sad. They're going to Buckins. They're going home to Newfoundland, and I'm here. So, kind of sad about that, just saying. Okay, so we are starting tonight, and I did write out the signs in what order. I asked the order of which signs they should be and how they come out how they are to come. And I was guided to go with Virgo first. We are in Virgo season. Thank you, Shannon. We are in Virgo season. So this is the beginning of Virgo season. Now I connect to energy. I read energy. I read the light. I read the energy that we feel. I don't connect into the planet so much, but some of it channels. I am a channel. I'm a mystic. So I'm a visionary. So I see the things that are out there, what's coming. And so that's what we're connecting to. I pray my grandchildren never have to go to school, but that's just me. Lisa, we're having the same conversation. So we're having the same conversations about that as well in our home in a lot of ways, because as everybody knows, I'm a very out of the box person. And so, yeah. And so Uncle Rod's birthday is on the 4th. Is it really? He's a Virgo. A happy early birthday to my Uncle Rod. It is my Uncle Jerry's birthday today, who is in heaven. I woke up this morning and I could feel his presence all the way around me, that it's my Uncle Jerry's birthday. That's my dad's brother, and he is in heaven. And so I could feel him as well today. For all my Virgos that are in this Virgo season, happy birthday to the birthdays that are coming up for all those in those Virgo seasons. We do have a lot of energy around this. If you're in my subscription group, I did just record your monthly message, but that will be released whenever it gets done in the coming days or weeks. I'm not sure, but I just recorded it because the energy for it was there. So if you're in the subscription group, if you're in the channel group and you're in there and you've signed up, then that message will also be coming out soon. I don't have a date for you. I have it recorded. And also there's a new YouTube weekly video that was just posted on YouTube. Go check that one out. That one comes up with all the weekly energy that we have. So for Virgo, hello, Kevin, my sweet friend. I had 2 Kevins in here. Okay. And hello, Ranita. So I just want to get fully channeled into this because I know some of my egos here. How do I know? It's because the pitch of my voice. That's how I know. And so when my voice starts to shift and change, I know that I am fully stepping in and into that place, breathing into where I need to go, letting go of all human ego, tapping into spirit, opening up to spirit world, allowing in all of the guides and all of the angels, all of the saints. I have a lot of saints with me lately. A lot of those, all the wise ones, and all that is of wisdom through the energy that is here to bring forth the messages that will guide each and every one through the collective energy that may resonate or may not resonate with each and every one. Please remember that you are more than your birth sign. You are so much more than that. go get your natal charts and read through your natal charts and know where the planets sit in your houses and why you react and respond the way that you do in when the planets move and shift. Know your sun sign, know your moon sign, and if you know your date of birth, know your ascendant, because it does really truly affect us in so many ways, because your moon really affects that sense of the shadow of yourself. It's where our emotions sit, is how we emotionally respond. Your birth sign is where that planet was land during the time. It's all based on timing for your birth sign and where you're born. I am an Aries, but I'm a Cancer moon, and I have my north node is Aquarius, and my ascending is Scorpio. And for a long time, I thought my ascendant was actually ascending. My ascending was actually Libra, and I just couldn't resonate with rising into this Libra energy. I'm like, I don't feel right. And then I found my baby book, and my mother always told me I was born at 6:30 in the evening, and I was actually born at 8:33. And that 2 hour time difference changed everything in my chart. So it just totally changed up all of the ascending, where some of the planets landed, and everything just made so much more sense to me. And so knowing those things about yourself really truly helps. And we do have some astrologers in here. I believe we have, I don't know if she's actually here. I just thought I seen Raina. I'm like, and so, but I don't think I do. So it's like, I am not an astrologer. I know bits and pieces about astrology. I know energy. I read energy. I connect to energy. I'm an energy healer. That's what I do. So let's just bring this forth for Virgos. So Virgos, what I'm getting for Virgo for coming into September is remembering that you are to go with the flow and not the stagnant energy of wherever there is a sense of entrapment. It's almost like wherever you go, wherever you are, you may bear witness to a person or an experience where you get just kind of almost feels like you're hitting the wall, like a sense of um, not being opened, stubbornness, kind of blocked energy, or trying to block your energy or your shifting or your flow, right? Like something just feels like it's like when there is, when we're kids and there's a flow of water, and through that flow of water, you got these rocks, and then all of a sudden you're kids and you're like, we're going to build a little dam. And so you take a board and you put in there, or a few sticks or another rock, and the water then changes the flow. The flow is then not the same. It's not natural. So something feels like don't feel natural to you. And if you're in a situation where you feel like you have to force yourself, and this could be a relationship, this could be a job, this could be anywhere where you are present, for those in the Virgo energy, you are being told to be aware of what feels like when it doesn't feel natural, when you feel like you have to force a conversation, or force a situation, or force something to happen, or you feel like somebody has got that pushback on you. You're being pushed back, or you're being discounted, or kind of mimicked or mocked. And just kind of step back. I just feel like you should really step back and be aware of that for you, and asking yourself, like, what is there for me to know in this situation? Like, what am I to, what am I to understand about myself? And if you find yourself engaging or trying to please that energy, then you know that you are not being truly authentic to yourself. Virgo does want to make people happy. Virgo does want to please, but sometimes that pleasing is coming at a cost to yourself. And when you're always trying to please, you're trying to be the humor, the happy, the joy, the everything for everyone else, and it doesn't feel natural for you, or it feels like it's like this forced energy. You got to be the identity of what everyone else has told you should be your whole life. You're the fun one, or you're the serious one, or you're the dependable one. Is that may not feel right to you. And so for those in the Virgo energy, if that doesn't feel right for you, you're being told to really truly stop. pause and step into that stillness. And you do have the resting tree, and the resting tree comes up with the guardians. And so I just pulled this deck out. I've been pulling out a lot of my old decks for some reason. And this is the wisdom of the Avalon. No, it's not. No, it's not. What deck is this? I don't even freaking know. It's a Colette deck. I don't know. No idea. I don't remember what deck. It doesn't matter. This is a Colette deck. And so this is the resting tree, and it's about patience and stillness. And so for myself, I know the guardians are the trees. And so there's a lot of guardian energy to the tree energy. There's a lot of truth. The tree doesn't fight. Trees don't fight. They don't fight for space. They just naturally grow, and they will blend together. They'll grow together. They will, they take up, they hold space for each other. And so if it feels like it's not an energy that is like you're being held safely in a space, acknowledge it and ask yourself why you're trying to please it, accommodate it, and do anything that doesn't feel natural to you. So this is going to be a time of being patient with yourself as you start to restore and replenish. You're taking the sticks out of that flow. You're moving the rocks out of the way. You're moving yourself out of energy or situations that just doesn't serve you. And you're allowing yourself, be patient with yourself as you restore and replenish that natural flow. Get back into that natural flow. Find your way back into that natural flow. Breathing into you, breathing into that energy. And so there's just so much happening. I'm like, Virgo, I could go on forever about you this month. There's just so much. I'm like, oh, what else do I want to share? Where else do I want to go? But I'm trying to give these in a shorter message. But also for some of my Virgos, and this feels like it might be very specific, don't compromise your sense of peace to please somebody else. Do not compromise your sense of peace to please somebody else. Yes, Wisdom of the Hidden Realm. Yes, that's the deck. Thank you, Lisa. I'm like, holy crap, I just had the total mind blank on this deck. And so it is. And so that's because titles really don't matter. They really don't. And that's what I feel like for you, Virgo. I just feel like for some of you, there's just like you have been the accommodating one to like everybody needs me, the family needs me, people need me. You don't always have to be the dependable and reliable one. And you don't have to sacrifice your happiness and your joy to make everyone else happy. That's so important, Virgo. And I feel like it's like for many, you may have gone around this circle many a times. Like this feels like it's a repeat. I feel like this is regurgitated energy for you. Like you have traveled through this, you've been through this, you've done this. And so look at where Virgo sits, where you have Virgo in your sign and where it is in your houses. So if you're going to get your natal charts, look at where that Virgo energy sits in your chart and how it impacts you based on the house that it sits in and where it sits in each house and how it affects you. Yes, Lana, focus on driving. Okay. So then I have Taurus. And so, of course, when I'm back to the Virgo, of course, you're an earth, being an earth sign, being rooted and grounded. So this is you not letting anything, uproot you. Don't let anything disturb that sense of inner peace that you are seeking or making peace with the past, or you've made peace with the past. Like, don't let anyone else kind of like trigger any response from you. That's what I'm kind of getting. You are the earth sign. This is earth energy. Okay, Taurus. Do we have any Tauruses in the house? Any Taurus energy here? So my newest granddaughter is a Taurus, and she's very good at having her voice be heard. Just saying. Taurus. So Taurus, what I'm getting for you. Ooh. So for Taurus, I do have this sense of awakening. Yes. Okay, Shannon. All right. So this is actually very exciting but it is in reverse. So it is in reverse. So I feel as if there is just like this sense of awe and awakening and wonder and so much that's trying to come in for you. But there is some resistance with this, almost as if I don't know if I'm prepared. I don't know if I'm ready. There's a lot of doubts and a lot of insecurities that are showing up around the Taurus energy right now, coming into September. But I feel I just have this. No, I know I don't even feel it. I see it. I see this like circus rings is what I'm seeing, like circus rings of fire. You know how that tiger just like jumps through, and I just feel like having the courage to know that you can jump through something or you can shift. I feel like there's a breakthrough energy that is waiting for you. But if you're taking baby steps or you're taking big leaps or you're just freaking taking a run for it and you're just like, I'm running for this, I'm going for this, I feel like there is some really go for it energy that is waiting for you to have the faith in yourself to be able to start to move forward. And so it's like as if it's like the ground is on fire, right? It's like I can't even get up. Like we want to be rooted, we want to be grounded, but it's not always about being rooted and grounded. It's about unleashing and releasing yourself from the responsibility of being so rooted, being so grounded, being so practical. There is this creative, fiery energy. So you do have a lot of I have a lot of dragon energy coming in for you, but I also have a lot of Aries energy in Taurus. And so I don't know if you have this, and I know it's Virgo season, but I'm picking up Aries, like strong Aries energy in Taurus. And I just feel like that's like that's a sense of burning passion, the having to put yourself as a priority to be first, right? Like I'm important. I'm important enough to do the things that I need to do for me. So the card that came out is actually the Phoenix, but it's in reverse. It is not upright. And not that, it's saying there's something wrong, is that there is, surrendering to the change. And so this card is about surrendering. So hell yes, right, Shannon? And so this card is about change. This is about surrendering to everything changes, including you. And if you hold on to who you have always been, then how can you become the person you need to be, right? If we hold on so tight to this is the way I am, stubbornness, right? Like don't let the strong mind that can sometimes get in the way of being letting the heart lead. And you're being told to let the heart lead you, let yourself be led by the heart, and to be able to take the faith, have faith. And the way that I'm actually seeing it for Taurus is I am seeing 3 rings. I'm seeing 3 rings, and those 3 rings are like bleeping at me. So I feel like there's options and choices, and just like you have to just trust, like just fucking go for it. And I'm just like, take the middle, take the middle, take the middle. The middle will never lead you astray. Take the middle, go through the middle. And it's like breaking open or breaking through. So there's a breakthrough in energy. There is a relief and a release that comes, but you're kind of taking baby steps because you're referring things to, but this happened to me in the past. This is what happened to me in the past. This is where I was in the past. But this is not the freaking past. This is the now, and the future is waiting for you. And so this is the resurrection, right? So we're not resurrecting the past. We are resurrecting your energy, that sense of building up that sense of knowing and courage to be able to uproot yourself, to break the ground, to break through ground, so this is ground breaking is what I feel like. I feel like there's a ground breaking energy for Taurus, and it just feels like it may even follow you through that September, October. I don't know if you're going to see full effects of it all the way until the new year, but there is big changes. And I just feel like it's like, take advantage of this energy. Don't let this energy get wasted, because the flame will go down, the fire go down. And so I feel like it'll follow you through until the next fire season. So Aries is like the one who's chattering in your ear saying, go for it, do it, do it, do it. And then Sagittarius says, I'm over here. Just come over here. There's a party over here and I'll help you. And just get to that month, get to that time. And I just like, we'll help you. We'll light the fire on your ground. We'll get you going. But it is a breakthrough energy. It does feel like a shift. It does feel like change. And I just feel like it's like, don't waste this energy. don't let it go to the wayside. And remember, wherever this is in your natal chart, it may be something to do with the houses of where it sits for you. It could be family, it could be relationships, could be anything. If it feels like it resonates with you, it is okay to claim it. If you have that Taurus in your sign, if it is in your moon sign, it may have something to do with your moon energy. Chinese astrology works around that moon energy. And there is that sense of just being able to follow also your transits. So if you look at the transits and where you have those transits in your sign, in your month or in your coming months, it's just like something. It's just like pay attention to those moments in your life. They matter. They matter. So there's something for Taurus that really matters right now, and it's like don't waste it. So many changes and bad and negative in my life in the last 2 years. I've been told myself to go with the flow, accept the changes. I've emerged as someone different. Exactly. That's a phoenix. That's a phoenix moment, Shannon. The phoenix moment is that rising up. Have you ever watched the Game of Thrones? You ever watched the Game of Thrones, right? And you ever watched that the dragon lady, right? You watch when she burns, right? She burns and she rises up out of the ashes and she has eggs, and those three eggs that are her dragons, right? That's her dragon energy. And so she didn't come back as who she was. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't in fear. She came back with courage. She came back with strength. And so those phoenix moments are called our awakening moments, who we are through the ashes, through those moments of saying, I am not going to be dictated and controlled by my past. I'm going to rise up and above those moments. And so if you've ever read my first book, you'll read about a phoenix moment in my book, and truly about me being in a dream, an awake dream. And I could hear someone yelling out that my house was burning. And I'm like, I could smell it, and I'm like, I got to go back. And they're like, no, Corey, if you answer that voice and you go back, you don't have faith. Like, stay with us. I'm telling you, stay with us. This was the Marys. Stay with us. Hold on. All will be well. All will be well. Keep going forward. Keep going forward. And I did. And I woke up the next morning, there's a hole in my desk and the holy water that was around it and the candle, however it happened, the house didn't burn down. There was like a hole, but I had a prayer circle set up. And that moment, and I'm wiping up the ashes. And I had a session with a friend of mine who was a life coach. And she's like, Corey, and I'm like, I'm wiping up the ashes. And I said, I'm like, I feel so different. And that was the beginning of so many things that takes place. And that's your Phoenix moment. So Shannon, embrace that. You are someone different. So you're not the person who existed in those experiences. We are always somebody new each and every day. So yeah. And so now we're going to go into Capricorn. First thing I want to say with Capricorn energy is if you know somebody who's in each and every sign, I just feel like a judgment. I feel like Capricorn, whoever and whatever you're judging, stop it, because whoever and whatever you're judging is not about them. It is actually about you. And so it is your thoughts. It is you that is, judging somebody else or in a comparison or criticizing somebody else. Actually, who is really the issue that needs to be acknowledged is yourself. And so when we look at signs, if you know somebody who's a specific sign that has burned you or hurt you or whatever, you don't dictate that everybody born under that sign is that way, and that you'll never be connected to those kind of people again or that kind of person again, because not everybody is that energy. That is only when you're born. That doesn't mean that is the personality, the identity. We all have an authenticity. We all have a past, and we all have previous traumas. We have all of these shadow selves. We all have all of our inner child issues that cause us to. The ego creates identity and the persona of what we represent, what we present to the world, and what we tell people about ourselves, right? So those things come from that place. And so not everybody who's right, you can't be in that comparison. Oh, Lindsay, I just seen that little comment come up there. Oh, Capricorn. Right. And so it is. And I feel like Capricorn, you got some big ass judgment. I feel like a lot of this judgment is on yourself. Ownership and responsibility is turning back to you and really acknowledging that what I'm creating in my thoughts is actually something about myself. So it feels like there's a serious sense of insecurity, like walking in the sense of instability, unstable times, and trying to create a false reality of stability. And if that's what you're trying to create, or if that's how you create, if that's the story you're telling yourself, then you are then allowing this eruption to to bubble up inside. And when it explodes, it's going to like, and I just feel like, blah. It's like, blah. There's just something that just feels like it's going to be coming through. All of my comments are stopped, just in case anyone's wondering why I'm not commenting. And so it does feel like that's around me. And so judgment and criticism, Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. I feel like you are almost waiting for, it's for some of my Capricorns, what the energies, I just feel like I'm pulling down stars. So for my Capricorn, I feel like I'm pulling down like star, no, I'm pulling down the blinds. I'm pulling down the shades. It's almost like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to do that. I'd rather be angry. I'd rather say this. I'd rather settle for this. I'd rather do this. I'd rather do that. And it's like you're blocking yourself in, you're shutting yourself down, and you're closing yourself off, and you're closing off your heart instead of opening your heart to the possibility of so many things. And it's almost, it's just a seeing and knowing that there's like this, almost like you've created something. You've created something, and you can't let go of what you've created. It's a story. It's a like that. It's become like a monster. It's become like this monster, and it just feels like it has a strong, strong hold on you. I'm just trying to open up because my comments are not coming up. And so there is, it's just there. I'm just like, it's just there. It's just there. It's just there looking at you. It is, I'm not saying that it's controlling your life, but I'm just saying it's time to open up those shades, and not to live in the darkness of this, or to live in the judgment of this. And that judgment and what we look at ourselves is to be done with a kindness and a compassion in your heart for yourself, for you, to be kind to you, to acknowledge this in yourself. And so it's like there's an opening in the ground is what I got around you, Capricorn. So I haven't even got a card yet for you, but I'm just like, there is just, I'm like, lift up the shade, let the sun. So what I see coming down the stars is actually like, there is something in the stars. There's something in the stars that it's like something is aligning for you, Capricorn. For those in the Capricorn energy, anyone that's in the Capricorn energy, it's like if you lift up the shades, you can see that if you let all of this align, and all of this come in, instead of being tied to the stories that you have told yourself, then you will be surprised on what is really existing out there for you. And it's like, lift up the freaking blinds, let that in, and let that come in. Let the stars align instead of you trying to align and position some sort of stability. I'm like, just unstable. I'm like, it's not stable. You can tell yourself it's stable. It's not stable. You're not, the situations, the energy is not stable. It's not that you're unstable or unstable. It is the energy around you. It's like the floor, the ground, the foundation that you've tried to create, or what you're trying to create, is not because of that judgment and that criticism, that sense of like really truly judging things or creating things that are not really that truth. The spiral dancer. And this is the circles and the roots, right? So this is about perception, right? And the circles. And so for me, I want to say this also ties into power, and it ties into the symbolic of our power symbols, and adding power, adding, so wind adds that power. So if the wind hits that ground, but this feels like, so when I got this card Capricorn, I'm like, oh, trying to hide the softness, trying to kind of mask your softness, Capricorn energy. So there is a kind of, what are you dancing with? What are you dancing with? And sometimes we're dancing with the devil, and other times we're dancing with the light. And it's time to dance with the light and not with the darkness, because for some reason, Capricorn energy is dancing with the darkness. And so this is perception of that whole, like, I can see the good in everybody. I can see the good. I can see this light. And it's like, just because you can see it, it doesn't mean it'll always come to fruition. It doesn't mean it'll come to life, but there is something in the stars that is trying to align to bring that joy, that love, that light, that energy, that whatever it may be on the opposite side of darkness into your world. And I'm like, there's a dance happening. And I feel like you're kind of dancing around some of this energy. And there is a softness, a gentleness that's just saying, I think you need to step back. And I think you need to take a breath. And I think you need to stop being at war and fighting with your mind and let yourself be guided by the beautiful angelic energy that's here for you. There is a power in not knowing. There is a power in faith. And there is such power in love and light. The rest of the energy has a weakness, and that's what weakens the foundation. And when you let your foundation get weakened by allowing yourself to be held up by weaker energy, your own energy will fall. And you need to be very aware of that and very careful of that. Just saying. So that's for Capricorn. I get and I just got like this something trying to push me back and out of the way. So I feel like Capricorn, there is something out there that is trying to push me out of the way to try to get you to just stay playing over here. Look at that mosquito. But we capture that somehow. And it's just like, yeah, I'm like, something is trying to move me out of the way, saying, don't you dare shine it, don't you dare open those blinds, don't you dare open those eyes, don't you dare. It's like, yeah, no, we don't dance with that energy. We only dance with the fairies, the happiness, the joy, the love, the angelic, the saints, the wise ones. And there is just this beautiful energy that's just saying, So remember, there's always light. And there's something trying to align for the Capricorn energy. I hope that helps. Please feel free to share out these messages, because you may have people that they resonate with. And so, yeah, so that's our earth sign. So we've just done, if for anyone just joining in, we did do Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus, and those are earth energies. And so just know that those are already out now. Those are out. Now we're going to move into air signs. And so, Jenna, we're not doing we're doing the monthly energy for each and every zodiac sign. So I'm reading the energy for coming into September for each and every zodiac sign. So now we have Libra. So we're into air energy here now. So we have Libra. And so Libra, what is coming up with Libra? So we're shifting energy. There is a shift that is happening. So please stay with us. I don't know what sign you are, Jenna, but I've already done Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. And so now we're going into the air signs. And so what all those means is, if you don't know anything about your sign, is that it works in elements, right? So this is the elemental energy as well. So earth, air, fire, and water. And so in the air is Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So, air often is led by the mind, can be up in our heads. We can be, I'm not a Libra. I'm an Aries. I do have Libra in my chart though. And so this is Libra. What I get with Libra is I got this softness. I got this loving energy, almost like being in a womb, like kind of being kept safe. I feel like for the Libra energy and where it's existing right now is like let us keep you safe. Let us like just hide you in here. So there is September for the Libra feels like it's okay to kind of retreat. It's okay to step back when everyone else saying it's a go time. You got to be out. You got to be doing this and you got to be doing that. Is that I feel like you've already been out kind of conquering the world. You've been out doing a lot of things in all of these seasons prior. And now it's okay to step back and know that you've already put the work in. You've done the hard work, and it's okay to allow the world to nurture you now. Allow yourself to be nurtured, to be able to embrace some of these things that you have done, some of these things that you have accomplished. Sorry, I'm on my fringes and they're digging in, they're hurting my legs. And so to be able to take these moments, and I just feel like it's like roll around your hands to say, it's like that home cooked meal. Like I'm smelling like home cooked baked goods, like being nurtured and loved. And it's almost like being in a grandmother's house who just like took care of everybody and just loved everybody up. And that's the energy that's around Libra coming into coming into September. And of course, and then you're going to be going into a go time again. So don't waste this time by keep trying to push things and trying to get things done. The rest of things will get done. If you don't sit to acknowledge your accomplishments or what the efforts that you've put in, you'll be kind of like wondering, well, what have I not done? Where have I not, you're just going to be in this go, go, go. And then you're going to run out of gas. You're going to run out of steam. And you're just, it's like, so just allow yourself to get into that sense of, I feel like you're going into some sacral and some root energy. And so so down into like the seventh chakra of the root energy. And so this is where our survival is. So I feel like you're moving from survival mode and you're doing a shift and you're preparing for the next stages of, or you've moved from survival to thriving. And now you're able to kind of coast a little bit for a while. So there is some coast energy, and we are in Libra right now, Carmen. So there is a coasting. So this is a rest to just like float on top of the energy. It is a womb. I feel like there is like that sense of kind of giving birth to something else new. You're coming to a rebirth type of stage in life of where you're just like, there's such appreciation. I feel like there's like gratitude and appreciation, and to really step into grace. So for Libras, it's about stepping into grace. It's about stepping into gratitude, stepping into that place of just awe and wonder. And see, this is integrity. The wise woman. I told you the grandmother energy was here. I could feel this grandmother energy. I could feel this essence. And this is the wise woman of Wonderland. Ah, and wonder. And so this is, don't compromise this sense of self in this thriving energy that you have done by trying to push more than you have to give. You've used up the energy that you've had to create what you've created. And now it's time to kind of replenish, restore. Don't compromise these times, because it is this, like you're kind of sitting into this, putting all of this self together and creating this self. And then just, allowing the rest to unfold. And so I always say sometimes it's good to be like the mushroom, and other times it's not. So there is a rest period. There is a slower time. Don't feel like it's lazy or that you've lost your mojo. You don't feel like you want to do anything. It is actually saying slow, just coast, just allow everything to be restored. It's like, just bring back in that sense of feeling of, God, I've done a lot, right? And sit back and just look at what you've done, journal about where you have been, and celebrate that sense of self with self-love, nurturing. And this beautiful wise woman says through that you'll gain wisdom, through that you'll know. And if you kind of blah it all out and you keep saying, tell everybody, this is what you got to do, this is how you need to do it, da da da. You don't need to tell anyone how to do things. You lead by example. You live by that. You live by being an example to others just in the actions that you take. And so don't compromise where you are. for anything right now. It's important. So that's Libra. My grandma passed April, and I feel she's been helping me all the yes, right? Truly. Oh, thank you. My grandmother, she was a Libra, my female mentor, more of a mother, always had fresh baked goods, right? She passed at 80. Oh, she passed at 60, was it? I can't see. She passed at 60, which I will be in a few, 60, which I'll be in a few weeks. I know you won't be 80 in a few weeks, Cal. Be 60 in a few weeks. She was a brilliant woman. Right. And so, yeah, and that's what it felt like to me. This grandma energy just feels so smooth, so loving, so gentle. It's almost like I just want to sit in that rocking chair and just rock through and just like, so it's that womb. Just let yourself be in the womb. Let yourself be in that love, in that sacral. How you would mother another or father another right now, how you would nurture from a healthy sense of being. That's what you need to do for you right now. That's what you need to do for you in September. Just saying. Okay, now we have Aquarius. So my Aquarius energy. So Aquarius, what do I have for Aquarius? I feel like for Aquarius, I have this opening. I have this like circle, and it's like a darkness, and it looks like a mirror to me. And I want it. It's like mirror on the wall is what I'm kind of seeing for Aquarius. And I'm like, oh, what stories are you telling yourself, and what reflection are you looking into? Kind of looks like that, but it's all black, right? It looks like that's on my cover. The truth of existing beyond my reflection, right? So it just feels like, so I'm going to say this as I have it, Aquarius. So this is energy. It doesn't mean that there is a person or a tie to anything when I give you this message, but I have God energy. And I have that sense of the God consciousness. And there is something that is saying for Aquarius energy that God has a plan. And that whatever that plan is, you're being told to look deeper than you have been looking. There is some surface energy, and trying to kind of just scrape the surface or live from that surface. And there's a deep dive into something that may be even a dark night of the soul journey. It may be something of a realization. You know, when we walk around saying, I know, because I've got it. I've done this for years. I've been around for years. Maybe I've been around many lifetimes, but there's always something to be learned. There's always something in the mysteries of life. There's always something we have yet to experience or yet to know. And I feel like for Aquarius is that sense of, you're kind of going to have to just trust us over here, because you're not trusting us over here. And that's what I'm getting. It's like the spirit is calling you up and calling you out on something, Aquarius, and saying, you know, there is a plan, and that plan is greater. And to have that faith and have that trust in knowing that there's something, and whatever stories you're creating in your mind or that other people are creating and writing out as truth may not be exactly as things shall unfold. So there just feels like there is something for Aquarius energy that is unfolding, and it's coming through that sense of what's on the other side of that mirror, or who else is looking into that same mirror, and asking that, you know. And so it may be the sense of, I just feel like sometimes maybe somebody's even gotten into your head. Something has gotten into your head and is stuck there. And so it's just like, and it may not be healthy. So if it's somebody who has projected their energy onto you, I just feel like it's not all truth. There's just new truth to be discovered, and there's something greater that is to be seen. And I got like that, like, don't be so sure of you know, of what looks like may happen in the world. Don't be so sure of what looks like may go down, because the kings can always be toppled. The queens can always be toppled, right? Something can always change the projections. And life changes in a moment, and things change in a moment. So don't be so sure. Don't be so all-knowing, and just trust. And that's where we're being told to just, that's where you are, Aquarius. So that's your kind of, that's the energy, that's the vibrational energy that to calm yourself, to kind of be, to bring yourself back down. Because there is something. No Aries yet. That's down the bottom. That's down the bottom pile. And so Aquarius, I don't know. I'm like, there's just this mirror, this question mark, something else is rising. This card came flying out. And this card came out, I believe this came out in Virgo, didn't it? The resting tree, patience and stillness. So you're being told to have that patience, to sit in the stillness and kind of just like, don't be so sure of things. And I'm going to go with the second card because there was another card in my hand as that card flew out. So I feel like for you, there is a second card, and it's the High Lady of Love and Compassion, reverence, kindness, and consideration, right? And so there is such consideration for kind of where everyone else. And so the kindest thing that we can do to ourselves is to not to create a story, a narrative, not to be so looking into, not to having such a investment into the narratives of what somebody else may say, or not to feel the need to be so defensive or defending. I just feel like there's a plan, and this is God consciousness. Something feels like it's coming from that greater place. When I look at this card, when I look at the Lady of Love and Light, of love and compassion, I think beauty is what I think. Beauty. And the definition of beauty and what gives us a beautiful life. And so our definition and being kind of held to defining our, our words or our language or our stories or the narratives, not everything that is written, not everything that is truth. There's always a new truth. There's always a turnaround, and there's always a moment where something can change. And I just feel like those changes are coming in some way, and just have patience and be still. The light is, at the bottom of that tree. Under the tree is like this cave. And so it's wet outside, but sometimes you got to find this place to be dry and to stay warm and to stay dry, and then just let this pass and know that there's always a light. There's always a light. So there's always a light. There's always hope. There's always something. Mosquitoes back. So there's something that is just like that's your for Capricorn, for my Aquarius. It's like a hum. It's what it feels like. It's a hum. It's a hum. Catherine, yes, my mom wrote me a letter and it was heartbreaking. My closest friend said it was as if she looked in the mirror when she wrote the letter. I keep telling myself that this is all happening because God has a plan. What amazing confirmation. Well, there you go, Catherine. Right? There's your confirmation. Yeah. I'll give Uncle Rod, Kelly, give Uncle Rod a big hug for me. I so love him. Patient waiting for you to call Cancer. Yeah, Cancer's not here yet. We have to do Gemini. We're working through each one. So stay with me. Please feel free to share. We also have, what else we got going on down here? We also have a few more signs to get to. So, okay. So the next one that's coming up, the next one's coming up is Gemini. So I have Gemini. And I think I have stars. I have figured out what stars are, guys. I know my last live, I'm like, it says I have stars, and I didn't know I had stars, but apparently I have stars. So I have stars. And so you can actually donate to my videos, to my work, to help to support my work and what I do. So there's great gratitude for anyone who has donated stars and when I didn't know what stars were. So I am so thankful for those who have donated stars to my work and to what I do. It just makes my heart smile. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Gemini. Gemini. I'm surrounded by Geminis. My brother's a Gemini. My granddaughter is a Gemini. And I'm telling you, Geminis are riding a wave. So you are so riding the wave. There is so much energy even coming into September of riding the waves. You are like roller coastering Gemini. So there is a roller coaster energy that's happening around Gemini energy. And I just feel like it's like up and down, up and down, up and down. And so it's like, just don't get stuck. Don't let yourself get stuck. Just say, this is a moment. Whatever is happening is temporary. So there's temporary moments, there's up and downs, and we're just riding the waves. Now, remember, I'm reading energy, not reading the planets, not reading the stars. I'm reading the energy of where everything exists right now for each zodiac sign. So it's like, so we're riding through that wave. And so for Gemini, when I step into Gemini, I want to feel like that sense of like, sometimes you want to act out and you want to just like get all excited and you're going to go start a new plan, or you're going to go, I'm like gung ho and I want to do this and I want to do that. And then the next minute you're like, nah, I don't want to do that now. Oh, I don't know if I got the energy for that. And it's because you can't regulate. So there's a sense of kind of learning how to balance and regulate the energy. I must have an opening in a screen somewhere because I'm like, where's the mosquitoes coming from? And so it's like just knowing that you know, it's like, how do I regulate this? What do I need to do? Or, you know, how do I get focused? So it's like balance, focus, not letting yourself kind of don't be judging the energy, but just like finding that balance. That's so you, Kelly, right? And hello, Deli from Florida. And so yeah, and so this is and just knowing that, you know, maybe that was impulsive. So impulsiveness, that's kind of what I'm getting. Impulsiveness. Be aware of those impulsive moments. It could even be outburst of happiness or joy or the need to run and do things. Take a breath before you act and ask, what is, you know, what am I trying to prove to myself, or what am I avoiding, or what do I not want to have to face, or what do I not want to do, or what is it that I really need to put my attention in? What needs my attention right now? What is priority, right? So getting that focus, balance, clarity, those things are huge in these times, of which also tells you more about you. So you learn more about you, and I'm kind of trying to move with you. So I feel myself trying to move with the Gemini energy, like just sit still for 5 minutes so that I can get to you. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Just stay here. Just stay, because the energy is moving so quickly around my Gemini energy right now. I'm like, would you stop so I can just like get one read on you, one feel, one like, what is it you really need? And so I feel like you're wishy-washy. I feel like you're all over the place. And how do you, you know, it's like, how do you get clear on those dreams or those wants or those needs? Or how do we get things how do we complete projects if we don't have that sense of stability, or contain that energy long enough to get something done? So it's like, not put a stronghold on yourself, not to conform to anything in particular, or to tie yourself down, or to feel like it's a forced energy, but a focused energy. There's a big difference in forced and focused. Forced, it's just like you will resist it, your rebellious energy will come out, but that focused energy is very different. So not forced, but focused. That's big. And so your card is the dream walker, and it's the dreams, the collective good, illusions, right? And so there's our golden dragon. And so there is this golden dragon, and she's got her flute, and she's calling in that sense of the dreams. She's standing up, she's looking out into her future. And it's like, there's so much out there. So what you're seeing, feeling, sensing is that the future has so much. It's like someone just opened up the curtains and just showed you all the a la carte. Like, it's like going to a buffet, and there's all of these opportunities looking at you, and you're like, oh my God, what do I want? What do I want to do? It's like you're starting to remember that you're alive, that you get, there's so much in the world. And you're like, oh my God, what do I want first? Where do I want to go? And it's like, okay, what is it you want the most? What is it you want the most? And why did you want that? And is that going to be, is that going to, how long is that going to satisfy you? And is that going to satisfy you for the long term? Or are you just looking for another temporary satisfaction, another thrill, another temporary, moment of, oh, I love that. No, I don't like that no more. Because this is about you moving into focusing on what is important, what you're going to like in the long term, having more permanent satisfaction and less of the temporary satisfaction. So, this also comes into healing for you. So, there is big healing energy here to not to be on the run, not to be avoiding, not to be staying. Not to be staying out running around in la la land, when you need to really say, I am a priority, and my sense of inner peace is a priority. Finding consistency in my life is a priority, and being able to stay focused and not trying to always force myself, because then that leads to guilt. That leads to feeling guilty, shaming yourself, belittling yourself, being hard on yourself, judging yourself. Whereas if it's the focused energy, it means that you're saying to yourself, I am a priority. My happiness, my joy is a priority. The things that are important to me matter to me. And because those things matter to me, it's showing me that I matter to me. And if I matter to me, then life will be different. And that's your Gemini energy. And I hope that that one helps you. And I just feel like there's like these little nuggets of you that you are discovering. So just see it as, when you're focused, you're actually running, you're actually picking up your treasures. You're picking up those pieces of yourself that really truly do mean something to you. That feels about right. Okay. Glad that resonates. I thought I had ADHD, and here it is, the damn sign. Well, could still be ADHD too, right? Who knows? But what is ADHD? Right? What is it really? Right? Like that's our, sometimes that's our superpower. You mean you're Kelly, you're with my uncle, so you probably know how much energy we have in this family. And if you have not met Angela, you've met Angela, you've met my mother, And so, yeah, um, there is so much of that. And, so it's like, even if you have that sense of being, you can be focused, right? I find things to focus, and I find ways to focus. So, um, sometimes it's like, what I do to stay focused, because I work from home, is I literally get dressed to go to work. I don't try to work in pajamas. I put shoes on my feet to go to work. I make sure my hair is done. I give myself like a list of things that are a priority during the day, not a to-do list that is like structured, but just saying, before the end of this day, this has to be done. And I'll say, okay, I'm going to get my coffee. I'm going to get the things that I need, and I'm going to stay right here, so I don't have to go look for anything. Because the moment I get up and go look for something is the moment I'm going to probably put in a load of laundry. I might clean the toilet. I might put some dishes in the dishwasher. I might, right? I might. So then you've lost the energy and the momentum that is in what you're trying to focus on. And that's for Geminis this month. So stay focused, and stay with you, and stop running from you. Stay with you and stop running from you. All right. Okay. Now we have Pisces. Pisces is a water sign. So in water signs, we have Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. All very different signs, very different energy, but all water. Not all bodies of water are the same energy. They don't all look alike. They're not all in the same form. They all flow differently. And so as is the signs in the water sign. And just because it's your birth sign, or just because it's your birth sign or your sun sign, it doesn't mean that you're all of one energy. Don't just read your Pisces horoscope. Go find out who you are. And that is with your natal chart. So Pisces, I just feel like there is a lot of labels. So for my Pisces energies, you've either placed a lot of labels on yourself, or you've placed a lot of labels on other people. You tell yourself you have a lot of narrated stories about who people are and your expectations upon them, including yourself. So those roles that you play are just roles. They do not define you. And when you announce yourself, how many people, and this is for kind of everybody, not just my Pisces, but this one will resonate with most people, is if you were to write a bio about yourself, or you're to write like who and what you are, if you're a mom, how many times do you put mother first? How many times do you put mother first? I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm this, I'm a mom to my dogs, to my cats. You will identify yourself by your roles before you actually ever introduce you as a person. Ting, ting, ting. I'm going to tap on this one for you because this one is coming up in the Pisces energy, but it is because it ties into that emotions. Like we identify by the roles, the personas we create around the roles that we play, right? And so when do you open the curtains and introduce yourself first? Where do you open yourself up and let yourself step out first? And so when I teach people about writing bios, that is the thing that I will cross out first. Because you have to look at yourself as a third person. So for Pisces energy in September, you have to look at your life like you are looking in at a movie. Ellie knows she's in my programs. She knows what I'm like about this. So first and foremost, you are not the roles that you play. You're not the identity of who you were told you were as a child. So it's like if you're still trying to be the good girl, the good boy, still trying to be the pleaser, still trying to be any of that, if you still, right? So if that is your first list, that sense of putting on your badges of honor of like, oh, I'm a mom or I'm a dad. Well, there's a good portion of the world that is, right? But that doesn't identify us. That doesn't give us that sense of, that's not the identity. I want to know who you are before if I'm meeting that sense of self, I want to meet the person that I'm speaking with. And I don't want to meet the stories. And so what I always ask in all of my sessions is like, what do you need? And it's like, well, and so all these stories, and I'm like, the stories don't matter. What do you need? What do you need? So I feel like for Pisces, you are opening up the curtains. You're here now to open up. You're on this stage of life and you're here to open it up. And how are you going to step out? How are you going to step forward? How are you going to introduce yourself? How are you going to show up? And I just feel like it's like this may feel like a fish out of water because you're so used to kind of being so guided by that sense of what does everybody need? What about everyone else? Well, what about everyone else? But what if you're one of the everybody else, right? You are one of the everybody else. You mentioned in one of your other lives where we could get a natal chart. I can't remember what it was. Cafe, cafe astrology, cafe astrology, I think, or astrology cafe. There's many. If you just punch in natal charts in Google, you can find all of the answers in Google. Yeah, just go to Google and just put in natal chart, and there'll be many that'll pop up. That's just the one I like. And yeah, and I'm sure Deborah Silverman probably has one on her page. Molly McCord probably has one on hers. The Leo King, I'm sure, has one on his. And so, right, and so this is where you are, Pisces. So I'm like, and don't get distracted from you. So I just see that instant. I just had a moment where I got over here and got caught up in answering another question instead of staying focused on Pisces because Pisces is not making themselves a priority. So you got to be you're welcome, but you got to be a priority, Pisces. You got to make yourself priority. You got to make yourself important and don't let the distractions come in and stand in the way. You can answer the call to the roles that you play as you are needed, but you are not always so needed as you think you are. And so that sense of being identified by being a mom what you don't realize, or a dad, or, a sister, or by a brother, or by the best auntie, by being the best friend. I'm the best friend. I'm the most loyal friend. I'm always there. Blended in there is what we call things such as the white knight syndrome, the martyr complex, that needing to be needed, the needing to be somebody, the needing to be needed by somebody. And so the one that needs you right now, Pisces, is you. So it's like, who are you? What are you? And what do you need? And you need to ask, what do I need? And what am I? Who am I? And what are my wants in this world? And I just feel like it's like you're being handed like this magical wand and says, if you want that to open, if you want to open up that gateway, that doorway into you, you have to use your wand. And as Lisa Starr Francis says, your words are your wand. And that's an abracadabra energy, right? It's like you want to bring that, you have something magical within you. And it's not discounting the roles that you play, but if you stay just that one person as a mother, your kids will grow up and your kids will change and your kids will need you less, or need you in a different, not less, they will need you in a different way. But if you stay stagnant to that role that you played as a mom all the way back here, then you will find yourself being on the back burner and looking around and going, well, now everything is empty. Now the house is empty. Right. So it's like, I just feel like what you're being told, Pisces, is wherever this is, this could be friendship. It doesn't have to be mom. I'm just using that as an example. But like, I'm the best friend. I'm loyal. I feel like for Pisces, wherever you are loyal to a fault, wherever you feel like you have taken on all of the responsibility, wherever you feel like you have to identify yourself by the badge of honor, by the roles that you play, it is time to take a really good look in. And it's time to do some real reality checks and some real shift in energy. It's time to stir up the water. It is time to start stirring things up, changing things up, gaining that sense of value and worth into who you are as a human being, who you are as a person, and really looking at the values and the beliefs that have created this. The ego creates the identity. And when it creates the persona, it creates the persona. The first 7 years of your life creates that sense of your identity. The first 7 years from womb until the first 7 years creates that identity. So in that space and in that time, Pisces, something in the placement of where you're born, the child, or what you were told, or what the image of what the narrative you've built around a mother story, a father story, a sister, a brother, a friend, a coworker, an employer, whatever it is, whatever is those titles, right? But I'm looking at the list of, where do you mention you? Where are you first? So the first things that come up when you mention that energy, Pisces, is like, I would say, is that I am a strong, confident woman who is living, who's now living instead of working, building an empire based on love, compassion, kindness, whatever those things are. Like, really, truly speaking of yourself from third person. Look in as if you are watching a movie, and look in at your own body language. Look in at your own actions, your own behaviors, your own continual, and see that movie. And then kind of extract yourself from there and just say, oh, yeah, I see some of the things that I'm doing. And I see some of the whys to why I'm doing it. And this is where we're going to be moving, and just acknowledging that this is a good energy. This is a good time to actually bring about that, to bring forth and put yourself as a main character. And so, so are you ready to put yourself as a main character somewhere and start make yourself a priority, and to really stop identifying yourself by the roles? Know that they are roles, and who you are in those roles is a little bit different than who you are when you're out with, say, your friends, but it's like you don't have to totally change a person to be somebody, to be enough in this world. Thank you, Catherine. astrocafe.com. That's who it is, Wendy. And so the cosmos are creativity and vastness. See, the moon right? So this is the cosmos. And so that cosmos is just infinite possibilities. So if you were to be able to be anybody you want to be, Pisces, if you were to be able to kind of see yourself in this vast energy, this blank slate, in this universal energy, who are you? What are you? Right? It's like, see yourself as, I am mystical, I am magical, I am. Try using something other than your roles to kind of describe that sense of self. And that doesn't mean you're going to have, and don't take a claim to fame to it so much. And it's releasing those, as I coin it and write it in my books, those claim to fame moments. And when we try to compete with our claim to fame moments, we are actually rejecting ourselves. So when you try to live to your claim to fame moments, you're actually rejecting yourself. So if you're always trying to live to, say, being the good one, I'm the good one, I'm the good kid, and you're like 50 years old and you're still trying to be the good kid, you're actually rejecting some of the other aspects of yourself that you really need to let in. So there's a whole bunch of this other self that you need to really let in of who you are, because you are denying yourself the opportunity to see some of the sparkle, the shine, the vastness, the beauty, the awe that is there for you, Pisces. So, on Deborah's School, we use astro.com. Thank you, Raina. All right. And so now we have Cancer. So, Cancer season. I just got something really funny for Cancer. Who do you think you are? So and my moon is Cancer. Who do you think you are? I just got that. Who do you think you are? To kind of like, almost like, judge other people, or just, you're picking flaws in other people, or you're kind of picking apart people somehow. And when we're doing that, there's something of an insecurity that's coming up. So Cancers, who do you think you are? When every time you feel yourself wanting to kind of pick holes in somebody else, or kind of like trying to judge somebody else, it's like, we can kind of laugh at ourselves and our behaviors, but ask yourself this: who do I think I am today? That I'm picking holes in somebody else, that I'm judging. Did I reach perfection? Did I become like the most perfect human being on earth? That, right? And so what that does is it starts to call out the critic, that criticism, that sense of, because when you're criticizing somebody else, or when you're looking and you're judging somebody else, it ultimately comes back into, what am I afraid of, right? So what am I afraid of? Why am I putting my focus there? Why am I behaving this way today? And I always say, that's how you come back into check. When you are awake and aware, and you realize that this is our not true self. So in human design, you learn about your not true self, right? And you also learn about that in your natal charts as well. But what is my not true self? So my not true self is frustration. So I feel like I get like all worked up, like I'm like, oh my God, that's not going right. Or it's like, and other people might be in that presence, and they get the wrath of it, but you're not projecting on them. You're just like spiraling in your head because you got yourself worked up, right? And so that criticism, that judgment, when that is happening, it is to really stop and pause and say, where am I in this energy today? What am I really afraid of? What is my fear story? What is happening around? What else is happening? What is really going on? Why am I putting my focus into anything other than myself? And that's around the Cancer. Now, that's not all that's around Cancer energy. So around Cancer energy, I also got some real serious, like, have fun, let go, just enjoy, embrace moments. You never know what you're going to like. And if you're judging situations, or you're judging people, or you're judging the future that hasn't happened, you're judging experience that, like, someone says, how about we go shopping? I don't want to go shopping. I hate shopping. How do you know? How do you know you won't like it this time, right? It's like, if there's an opportunity that arises, sometimes, take the opportunity instead of judging the opportunity, because there might be something more that's about to transpire for you, or another experience that's about to happen that may totally change things for you. Like today, I went to go to my daughter's, and I was supposed to be there by a specific time. We had appointments to go to. And when I got up to take the exit, all of the traffic was backed up. And I'm like, oh my God, now what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And I'm like, now I'm going to be late getting there. But I just kept driving the other direction. I'm like, I don't even know where to go. And so I put on Google Maps, or on Apple Maps, and it took me to the range roads. And then all of a sudden, it was like all of these things in the sceneries became signs and all of these things. So I could have kept judging the situation about how dumb and stupid the traffic was, but was that a divine intervention? So sometimes you got to be a part of the action of your divine intervention. And when you become a part of your own divine intervention, Cancer, those in the Cancer energy, is that you're allowing yourself to experience new experiences and probably miracles and probably seeing people in different lights and also to be able to see yourself in different lights. And when we do, we have this like reaction of laughter, and you feel your corners of your mouth coming up. So no matter what else is happening in the world, is that you are starting to be able to exist in happier energy, joy energy. And I feel like that joy energy is around you. It's like, let yourself just have fun. Let yourself just kind of laugh at yourself. Laugh at yourself about moments and experiences. Kind of like, but don't laugh off. Don't laugh off the things that you need to face. That's there. Do not laugh off the things that you need to face, because I feel like there is like false hope, false promises, and that's coming up in a card. So two cards did come out because this is the story about the divine. This is about the joy. This is about divine interventions or divine moments that just leave us in awe. And this card is the Spirit Whisper, and this is divine guidance and the higher knowing, right? So there's something that knows what we don't know when we're being guided back and away from situations, and we're being told to take a new road, a new path. Don't keep trailing. This is in neurolinguistics programming. Don't keep traveling the same path in your behaviors and in your actions and in your habits. Changing those habits and judging and criticism, and when we have fear and not being able to express what we're really feeling, that's actually following an old, that's habits, right? So we have habits that we don't even know are habits. On the other side of this, I got the Desert Prince, and it's survival and false promises. And I just feel like for some people, I feel like there is an illusion of truth. I feel like there's some shadiness around you, or there's some shady people around you. And it's like whoever, even if you have given yourself false promises, or there's somebody who keeps promise you something and it's like it hasn't happened, that's not you judging them. That's you calling up and out and dealing with it. It is time for you to deal with that bullshit. Don't let that bullshit keep having such control over you. You're mothering. Cancer season is very mothering, and you want to nurture that. You want to bring out the best in people. But if they're freaking shady, and if they keep having empty promises, they're not fulfilling their promises to themselves. They're not being kind to themselves. You don't have to keep judging them or criticizing them or being angry. You have to just start making the choice to be the one that fills up your own cup and does the things for you, and just really question why you keep holding on to false hope. Because sometimes it is time to make a new habit. And sometimes that new habit is saying yes to you and no to somebody else. And that's very much around Cancer. And I'm like, So somebody is kind of this is somebody being called up and being called out, and a real bullshit story. And I just feel like you may be the one with the empty promises. And if you got the empty promises, you need to take a good look at yourself and just say, why am I so afraid of like doing what is right? Doing what is right for myself, for others. But if this is somebody else in your life, stop making excuses for them, right? Stop making excuses for freaking bad behavior. And it's like a whole world of this. We have to stop making excuses for bad behavior. Bullshit energy, right? It's like really, truly know that you can acknowledge that without having to shame somebody or criticize. You say, you know what? This is like, you have made this promise enough times. I'm not believing this. I am now moving forward. I'm not accepting this anymore. And that's what's happening. So there is that energy that's around. So with that, what you're doing is you're actually stepping into the divine courage, and allowing yourself to be divinely guided by the angels, by the guides that are here for you. Because I do feel like you definitely have some divine intervention coming in. So for Cancer in the month of September, I feel like there's some divine intervention. Something is going to kind of intervene in areas of where you need to. So just know that when you break your habits, that means that, when you start to be aware of the habits that have been like on repeat, and sometimes relationships are habits. Sometimes, the behavior, words, our relationship with our thoughts, our relationship with our thoughts, our habits, our relationship with our go-to habits, addictions, those behavioral patterns that we got, like our phone. So, people say, I don't have an addiction. I hate to tell you, there's so many ways that we can be addicted to food, to phones, to gossip, to drama, to chaos. All of those things create those habits and create those storms. And what we're in relationship with, then I'm just doing all the zodiac signs, all the energy for the zodiac signs. I'm not doing a specific love readings, or they're for each and every sign. So whatever your sign is, we're working our way down through them. So I hope, Cancer, that resonates with anyone who is that Cancer energy. And now we have Scorpio. So for Scorpio, I do have something is in the works, and I just feel like secrets being exposed. So there is this sense of secrets being exposed, or even the universal. So it's something from the cosmos of revealing secrets, or new, some new truth coming in. So for Scorpio, I feel like there is some new truth coming in. I feel like for some of you, you've been really freaking betrayed. There's been a lot of betrayal, and sometimes you're betraying yourself by continually believing the narrative of stories that, what, and when but when you're unwilling to do anything about it, then you keep being in repeat. So I do feel like, and so I have the web weaver. I have the web weaver, and the web weaver kind of came up, and she was my grandmother today in the YouTube video for this week. And it's in that weaving that web of, I said in that message earlier this morning, is that when I'd come home late, my grandmother wouldn't talk to the rebel. She wouldn't speak to the one that was out probably doing some things she shouldn't have been doing. She'd always speak to the truest version of me. And so she wouldn't call me out. She wouldn't say, what were you doing out till 1 a.m.? What were you doing? She wouldn't lecture. She would just sit there and she'd continue crocheting and talking. And she's like, how was your night? How you feeling? Would you like a cup of tea? And she'd sit down and she'd talk about life and talk about being young and talked about being confused and, in feeling like you have to belong. Or she would just tell me stories that would just soothe the soul. And you'd feel yourself getting calm because you're waiting to get in through the door and you're waiting to be in trouble again. You've already known you've betrayed yourself. You've already known that you've done things. And it's like she didn't lecture that. She nurtured the good. And sometimes, Scorpio, I feel like you're nurturing all of the wrong in somebody else, hoping for the good. And you got to stop doing that of somebody else and nurture the good in you, and not keep talking to that sense of the insecure, the rebel, the fear, the inner child, and start nurturing that sense of the beautiful self that is in there, so that you start weaving that web, weaving that energy of building this tapestry, this cloak energy that just wraps around you and says, there's a lot of goodness in me that I shouldn't have to betray myself. And I'm not going to betray myself again. So Scorpio, that's very much in your September energy of, on the other side of denial, of lies, of anything that I tell myself or wherever I am. And so, because sometimes our own sense of intelligence and awareness, not that we're not intelligent or we don't know, sometimes that sense of the heart hurts. So the previous hurts that you're trying to heal the wounds by allowing yourself to feel an illusion of truth is ultimately betraying yourself. And it's time for you to really step into acknowledging that the divine knows what's best for us. And so the web weaver brings in cause and effects, right? Is that what we continue to do causes the outburst of those effects. So what we do, what we contribute to, which is ultimately like my diamond effects, is what we contribute to and we allow, and by denying ourselves, but then honoring and speaking to and filling up the shadows and the unhealthy in somebody else is depleting self. And I'm like, start speaking to the truest version of you, and start speaking to your own light, speak to your love, speak to what it is that you know to be true. And so there is this beautiful golden thread and these synchronicities, and what joins us is this golden thread. And when there is this golden thread moment, there's this aha moment, is that that's ultimately the one thread that then ties everything else together. When you start to build a soul relationship with you, for anyone that's in this Scorpio energy this month, it's about a soul connection. And I don't mean finding that twin flame, that soulmate, becoming your own soulmate, becoming your own essence of the other side of your soul, the twin, building that relationship with you again, restoring that integrity of who you truly are on the other side of everything that you have accepted, everything that you've allowed to slip by. Sometimes we sting ourselves because we just feel like, you know what, we've been told, you're too picky, you're too this, you're too that. And so then you start to soften up, and then you don't realize how much has creeped in. So bringing awareness into areas where you are accepting things that are now non-acceptable, and that includes old versions of ourselves. So it isn't up leveling. You are up leveling. You're expanding on your sense of awareness and knowing, and just knowing that I feel like trusting the divine, the higher self, to guide you instead of you trying to be guided by a wounded heart. A wounded heart will be responding from fight, flight, fear, freeze, fawn, telling yourself all kinds of lies, accepting all kinds of lies because you're fearful. And this is where the healing begins, is saying, no, that's not true. I know that not to be true. I'm telling myself that so I can accept things. And so that's where you are, and just allowing yourself to have that divine intervention by the high heart, by the high self, to allow them for the heart to heal. So there's going to be a lot of heart healing that comes in the fall for a lot of my Scorpio energy. And that's okay. That's sometimes we need to sit in that instead of just keep putting band-aids on and ripping them off, right? We don't need band-aids. We want to actually do the deep-seated healing coming up in these months to come. Hope that helps. Holy, these always turn into such a long, I'm like, why do I do these live? No, this was my way of still being. So the reason why I'm doing these, I did them last month, I'm doing again this month live, is that it takes so much time to record each single one and post each single one. And I was doing them all individually on YouTube, and I don't have the time. And that's honest. When I have to look at things that are really, truly worth investing in, that those monthlies that I was putting out, they weren't getting the same likes, they weren't getting the same kind of traffic as some of my other work, which means that the things that are not getting traffic and the things that are not being used and utilized, you have to let them go. And that's learning how to honor your own energy. So that's why I'm still trying to I'm trying to find a way to offer them and do them this way. So they're out there. You can go in, you can watch them, you can watch the video. I'm not timestamping it. If anyone else would love to go in and timestamp them, go ahead. But I'm not timestamping them because I just don't, I don't think about it at the time. All right. A lot of new adventures. You are so welcome. Welcome, Leanne. Okay, guys, we are moving into the last three. We are moving into fire signs. So this is fire signs is our heart's burning desire, passion, those signs that have that fiery get going energy, which is Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. So so we are starting with Aries. So Aries in the fire sign energy, and what we have coming up for the Aries energy. And I just got, you may feel like putting the brakes on. I'm like, eek. You may feel like putting the brakes on, Aries. You may feel like it's like this is too much. I've been like, everything has been slow for a while, and it's like I want to put the brakes on. I want to slow down, and it's like I just want to be cautious. I want to be. Aries are not designed for caution. For the most part, unless you have a lot of other, something else in your chart. But for the most part, we are not designed or created for caution. We are designed for burning passion and desire. And so I just feel like it's like you've had your foot on the brakes for a while, and because you've needed to have your foot on the brakes. And you've had a lot of Chiron energy, and the Chiron hasn't really left. And it's like Chiron is the wounded healer that comes to into Aries. It's been there since like 2018, I think it is. And it's that whole essence of looking at all sides of things, dark night the soul journeys, taking those heroes journeys, stepping into new truth, and just being able to say, you know what, you've already had your foot on the brake, you've already been there, but there's a lot of speeding up energy for Aries. You have a lot of like new beginnings, a lot of opportunity, a lot of change. It's like it's almost like you just like somebody takes your foot and pushes the gas even farther. You're like, I want to go to speed limit, I want to just be, I want to be sure. It's like, no, you're not, you're just going. And it's like, bah, we're just going. And so it's just, and there's a high speed energy coming in around that Aries energy that just says you are in high speed. There is a go time. There is some things that are happening, but you also have to be aware, right? So it's like, yeah, spirit may have a plan, but are you prepared? So there is that sense of often for the Aries energy is to be sure that you don't keep trying to max potential, but you're not the person you need to be to max potential. It's because you don't want to burn out, right? And so you could burn out, right? There's just a sense of don't go at a speed of where you risk burnout because you're not fully prepared for what is coming. Be prepared for what is coming. You can still move forward and still work on the things that you need to work on. Healing is nonstop. You don't stop working on you because there is opportunity coming. Just like if a new person comes into your life, if you're waiting for love to come into your life, Aries, and then all of a sudden this new person comes in and you forget about you and you forget about what you're doing, and then you stay who you are, but you've met the person for who you are in that moment. And then you stop because that person is so called fulfilling all of those things that you think you need that's on your list. Well, you're going to forget about you and you're going to slide, and you don't want to slide backwards. You don't want to go backwards. You want to keep going forward. I also feel like when we're going at that high speed, things that are going slower falls away. So sometimes you got to be willing to let things go. Oh, so we have the Hawk Prince. Interesting. We have the Hawk Prince, and it is spirit communication, paying attention. So just because we're in high, that's where I'm talking about maxing out the potential, being aware. You don't lose focus because you're moving forward. You don't move focus. You got to keep your eye focused on that what's ahead, even though you don't know exactly what it looks like. But you got to keep looking around because anything can come from the side and sideswipe you. And so don't let yourself be sideswiped. Don't let yourself get caught up in false into you know false hope or that sense of somebody's coming. I was like, oh my God, that just came. So I'm going to stop doing all that I want, that all that I have been working so hard on. Right. So being aware that Hawkeye, having that laser eye to keep looking around and seeing what feels like it's out of focus or that you're just not able to see. I feel like there's like things on the side that just feel like they're ready to kind of come in, dive at you. It's like when you watch birds, right? It's like you see that bird coming in and diving in at each other. It's like that the crow comes in trying to steal the eggs and the mother bird comes out of nowhere and phew, right? It's like, and so that is kind of the energy. It's like, don't let anything kind of steal that thunder or steal that momentum. Don't let anything take you away from that focus. Be very aware, but stay in communication with the divine. I feel like this is the guardian angels that are coming in and just saying, you have to know that we are who you listen to. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the doubters. Don't listen to that naysayer in your own head, the doubter in your own mind. You have to start believing in you. So I feel like for a lot of my Aries, you've lost a lot of confidence for a long period of time, and you're just trying to get it back. You're trying to, like, there's just something because of that Chiron energy, because of where we have been. And I just feel like you're starting to restore that sense of self. But just because it's coming back, don't mean you don't give it all at once. But you do know that you are moving forward. Rose, you can't make this shit up. To quote Corey, thank you for Scorpio. You're welcome. Yeah, you can't make this shit up, right? I actually got a book written about it. You can't make this shit up. And so that is where you are. So have that hawk eye, that hawk energy, but it is not time to put the brakes back on. It is time to, like, the spirit is like pushing on the gas and pushing us forward There is forward momentum. There is change. And a lot of things happen very quickly. So you have to very much use discernment in your choices and your decision. And sometimes you have to, like, you can stop for pee breaks. You can stop for pee breaks on the way. You can tell spirit, stop, take a pee break. I need to get out. I need to take a drink. I need to breathe. I need to do whatever. And to really think, which direction do I want to go? Which path do I want to go? What do I want to do? Right. So take those breaks, take those moments. And I feel like for some of those moments, you may be saying to yourself, like, oh, and I don't want to, it's like, oh, I don't want to invest in anything else, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. And it's like, you got to remember, you're going to the old thoughts. You're going to the past of saying, that's going to fail again, or I can't afford that, or I can't do that, because you've probably in these past couple of years experienced more shit storms than you could have ever imagined. Every bit of shit came at Aries in this past few years. It just has. It's just been like, and it's, it is getting a little bit better. We're not going to see the full end of this until 2023 or something like that. That's like, there's just like this, but there is a go time. So there's a relief. There is like an opening, and it's saying take advantage of it. And same thing, you got that Cosmos card as well. There's a vast world that is waiting for us to create, and it's time for us to create it. That's Aries. Okay, Sagittarius. Hope that helps, my Aries. And look at where you have Aries in your sign. Remember, your moon sign, your sun sign, your ascending, your houses, like blah, blah, blah. Because I'm reading energy. I'm not reading planets. I'm not aligning planets. I'm reading the energy that is floating through. So, Sagittarius. Let me take a drink. I think I'm drinking Arbonne Skin Health in this glass. I got like little knobs of stuff on. I've been drinking it for like 3 hours. Yes, darling. It has been a shitstorm. An absolute shitstorm. I've nailed it. Good, Carmen. You waited all this time for it. Glad it resonated. Okay. Sagittarius. I just want to give Sagittarius a hug. Sagittarius, I just want to give you a hug. I feel like it's like October. I'm like, it's like there's a harvest season. I do feel like it's like there is like, you've kind of had to try. I feel like you're coming back. Sagittarius, I just feel like you're coming back from a hero's journey or the dark night of the soul journey for some of you, if you know what those things mean. So I just feel like you're on your way. You've traveled through many things, but patience. You're being told, don't rush the process. You do have the resting tree. Several of the signs have had the same resting tree, because it's coming with the guardians and saying you're not alone. You don't have to rush. You don't have to try to force life to happen. You don't have to try to make things happen. Things are happening. Things have always been happening. Things have never not been happening. But you know who we deny this is our truest versions of ourselves, because we look in often to other people to kind of discount our truest self. And so the one person that is kind of that turns their back on us is ourselves. So Sagittarius, it's like, it's not that you turn the back on the person that you're becoming now, is you turned your back on that little one way back when. And it's like, and so you've been rejecting that sense of being allowed to be. And I feel like it's like the story of Inanna. I feel like you've traveled all the way down to pick up the Inanna, pick up the goddess Inanna, and like bring up that twin, bring up that soul self. And you've brought her up to the surface, Sagittarius. And it's like, I just want to hug you. It's a gentle, Sagittarius is friendly. They love good times. They love fun. But there's a truth that not everything is fun. Not everything is beautiful. Not everybody is kind. Not everybody is good. Not everybody has good intentions. And I just feel like sometimes when you don't realize that you get caught in that momentum, you get caught in that energy, and you just get so in that stalemate energy, and you realize that that's not you. And then you find your way back. And then we have Gaia's garden. So we have the garden, we have the guardians that guard that land. So the trees keep the ground, the soil strong. It keeps it networks this underworld together. And I feel like this is the underworld energy that's just saying, you're reaping those rewards. This Gaia's garden, like you planted the seeds. The seeds have been planted since before you arrived. It's not, so this is the trick. It's not the seeds that you plant now, because most of the future that we try to create for the shadow self. We try to create for the person we think we need to be. The seeds are a part of our divine destiny. And it may not turn out to be anything we thought it was. And when we allow for our divine truth, our divine self, our truest version of ourselves to come, everything that we have caused ourselves, stress and anxiety over trying to be something, when we release it and we set ourselves free, we don't realize that this seed was planted way back before you ever arrived upon this earth. It's not the seeds that you plant now. That's the illusions. That's what they let us believe, right? But it's not the seeds that you plant now. The seed was planted inside of you in the treasures of the soul, and the soul is trying to guide you, but you're resisting the soul. And that's where that rebellious self comes. So the resting tree, hugs are needed. Yes, they are, Lisa. As one of my favorite Sagittarius shows up, my other half of me, where I fall short, my friend Lisa picks me up. That's why we have soul sisters. And so this resting tree, right, is right back here. And so this is remembering that you can try to plant all the seeds you want, but it was already planted. A pumpkin is a pumpkin. A turnip is a turnip. A potato is a potato. A carrot is a carrot. Right? They're all exactly what they are. And when we try to be something other than that, we are denying ourselves to be God's destiny, to be the destiny of our greatest purpose of coming to earth. So because because we're eternal, we can't see ourselves as the same purpose or having purpose. And I'm going to tell you how that message really truly resonates is I actually had a dream about that myself the other night. And it was me and Jesus standing on water. And if anyone knows my work knows that I channel Jesus, and I have since I was like a little tiny girl. And Jesus is not like the Jesus of all the rest. There's so many stories of Jesus. And so we're standing and we were fishing, and he handed me a fish. And I'm like, but that's a flat fish. That's what I get is a flat fish. I get like a flounder. The eyes are on the side of his head. What do you mean? I don't get like a tuna or a dolphin or a shark. Like I don't get something great. He says, everything is great and everything has a purpose. And I'm like, I'll take my flounder. And I woke up and my hands were in this position when I woke up. And I'm like, everything has a purpose. And I remembered being a little girl and being a kid, and we lived around the water, and the boys used to get these flounders and they'd carve their names into the scales. And I never used to do it. And one day I wanted to fit in and belong with the boys. And so I carved my initials, I even remember it, into the fish, and I cried for days that I hurt this fish. I punished this fish. And that was the exact fish that I had put my name, and I was so upset that I had done that to the fish that I could not forgive I didn't forgive myself for years, and I would never have hurt that fish. And it was like, but I just wanted to belong so bad that I sacrificed that within myself to fit in, to belong. I went against my virtuous self. And that was what I was given back, was a perfectly healthy, fine flounder fish in that dream. And so Sagittarius, I don't know what that resonates to you or how that resonates to you, but that is where the message comes from, is that that seed was planted. You don't need to be anything more than that. And that is more than enough, because we are all part of that beautiful system. And whatever is for us, we don't know what our divine destiny is. We never know. But when we just trust the divine destiny and we just keep being the best version of herself, traveling down in that Inanna, picking up that other version of yourself that you dropped the ball on, that you just let go because you didn't feel that she was good enough. He was good enough. It was good enough. However you want to put that, right? And so that's the story, that's the narrative, and that's where it's coming in for you. So it is, you do need a hug, because I just feel like you've kind of picked up those pieces and that awareness within self of you. And so this September is about that. And I feel like you're not going to be fully, even kind of having that same oomph of energy, because it is like this, like you're almost like being restored. You're being plugged back in to be not recharged, but to be reprogrammed into a new sense of being for you coming up. And so I feel like it's like all the way to my son has finally embraced who he is. Yay, Carmen. That always makes me so happy. Yes, that Kenny. The seed was planted before he was even born. Right? And so that's your truth, and that's where you are. So the final card is the Keeper of the Scales, and that is about fairness and balance and just being that truth to, like, kind of balancing the scale in your energy and in your truth and in your, like, where am I kind of throwing myself off? Where am I getting caught up in this? And so this purity, so there's a pure essence here, a pure energy, a pure love. And I just like, and so this is the Keeper of the Scale. And I just feel like it's like sometimes you have to really look at, am I sometimes too hard on myself? Right? And that's where you are. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself big love, and know that you are dearly, dearly loved. And the divine just said to tell you that you have always been divinely loved. You don't have to do anymore. And if we're a flounder fish, then we'll be a flounder. If I'm a turnip, I'll be a turnip. Because, turnips are pretty freaking tasty. It just gets mixed up with rutabagas, right? But it's not the same, right? A turnip is not a rutabaga. It is very different, but people can't tell the difference because it's similar. And so, but look at it that way. I always see things in a creative way. That's how I get to have the visions, is through creativity. And then we have Leo. You are so welcome, Megan. All right. Okay. Last one, guys. Last one. This one is going to be for Leo. Leo, last but not least. Leo is a pride. And I feel like there is sometimes Leo pride. I feel like your pride sometimes stands in the way of you allowing other people to step in and to help you. And I feel like in September, you actually do need some help. I feel like there's areas where, you need help. You need help from others. You need to allow others to step in. And, it's like, and that's not a weakness, that's a strength. And Leo, there is that's not, you don't have to be kind of like Virgo. It's like this kind of taking us full circle back to Virgo. You don't have to be everything for everybody all the time. And you don't have to be at the top of your game all the time, Leo. You definitely don't have to be at the top of your game. You're not always meant to be at the top of your game. So stop trying to be that. Let yourself embrace that sense of weakness, because there is great wisdom to be learned in that sense of our weakness is our strength, right? Our vulnerability. There is a phase of vulnerability that is here for Leo. And I just feel like it's like through September, you're going to be experiencing it. You're going to be witnessing it. You maybe need it in other ways and by other people. And, but it's not going to be like that demanding. It's not demanding. It's the fact of just knowing that sometimes we just got to sit for somebody and hold space. We don't have to do anything. You don't have to keep trying to do things. And so let go of the pride, let go of having to be there. You are so welcome, Lisa. Let go of having to be everything. And also let go of some of the narratives of the stories that you tell yourself. I feel like you got a lot of stories, and some of them are very freaking hard on yourself. And so this is the Lady of Lightning. This is the first time this card has come out tonight. I love this card. This is the Lady of Lightning. And this is surprises, something shock, sometimes shock, total paradigm shift. So it is a big shift. I'm like, let go of the pride and just allow other things to happen. There is a big, it's like getting that bolt of lightning, that aha moment. And when you let go and you let yourself be in that state of vulnerability, when you're not having to be the person for the people, right? You're not always that available to every single person. I just feel like it's like something just is shifting and changing, but sometimes it takes a shock to the system. And I feel like if you keep trying to, if you hold on to that pride, I do feel like there's something here, like something that shocks, something that kind of awakens that whole holy shit. Like I have to kind of let myself sit back, nurture, take care of myself, do what I need to do. I keep getting like an upper chest thing happening, like just kind of being like, oh yeah, I gotta rest. Like I'm tired now. It's like all of a sudden it just hits you how much you have been doing or how much that has been happening around you. But I'm like, there is like a rise. I have a hallelujah moment coming in here. I have like this hallelujah moment where it's just like, if you stop trying to make things happen and let things happen, it's going to be beautiful. I'm like, why do they not want me to talk about this? I have this blue light energy. And so I have this blue light. So I have the, I call them my blue people. I have like the Palladians energy in here. They're very blue. And so I just have like that one lost, like that one lost soul, like something of ourselves, like the one lost piece that we just keep having to try to make up for or do. But there is I feel like some of you are going to get a real, either like an eye opener or a surprise or just this shocking, um, a shocking ending or a shocking new beginning. It's like something of a shock, something that kind of shocks the system, but it also brings in like that wake up call. There feels like there is something unfolding. And sometimes the perfect storm brings about the changes that need to happen. And I'm going to say it just as it is. I feel like for some of the Leo energy, that if you have been kind of like in that yes, that pleasing kind of relationship where you are always like pleasing the anger, the insecurities, you're always trying to make the freaking peace or keep the peace. I feel like you're finally just saying, enough. I'm over this. I am done. So there is this, I am done. I am not doing this no more. This is not happening. I'm letting go of my pride of thinking that I have to keep everything together. And I'm fucking over this. This might be job. This might be related. I don't know what it is. But it's just like it comes up and out like a roar. And it's been so bubbling for so long. And it's just there. And I'm like, you just have to trust what comes after, because what comes after that, I feel like there's like bringing back or bringing in a new happiness, a new truth. Some people in the Leo energy, I feel like you've had like this kind of knowing that something else is waiting for you or somebody else is waiting for you. And it just feels like it's like aligning. There's something happening. I'm actually I know I know there's like, this doesn't always turn out to be like some happy ending moment. It may be something that kind of gives us the wake up call to take care of our health or to do the things that we need to. But for some other, I have this sense I mean them, very kind of like have this enthusiastic energy of, I'm excited for you. I think you're finally going to find a voice. I think you're finally going to be able to stand up and say what you need to say, do what you need to say. Or there's something absolutely freaking beautiful coming in your life, and you're going to make time for that beautiful stuff to come into your life. And you're going to start becoming everything that you need to be to let that happen in your life. And I'm like, sometimes that lightning just burns shit away and just like opens up new doors, opens up new energy, and brings in new energy. And I just feel like you're like keeping like, I feel like some of you have just been trying to keep the peace or just trying to do things and like not to step on toes and take the high road. It's like, fuck that. I'm done. And I just got that. Fuck that. I'm just done doing that. I'm not fucking doing that no more. That's not happening no more. And you don't even have to swear, but that's the energy. And it's like, I am not. And I am not doing that. And that's like, it's like you've been, like, you may say it under your breath, or you may have been doing this for a while, but there's a breakthrough and a breakout that is coming. And I just feel like it's like, yeah, there's so much surprise energy. It is just like getting like there's a treasure chest of it. I don't know, but there's just so many surprises. So some things may feel like they're not good in the moment because it takes, like, it really changes things. And then when shifts happens, endings have to happen. And when endings have to happen, endings are not always pretty, but endings need to happen in order for new beginnings. And if endings can't happen, new beginnings can't begin. And so that's what's coming up and around you. So I hope that resonates with you. Thank you, guys. This has been like 2 hours of getting these out. But if they resonate with you, yay. If they don't, they're not for you this month. But if you look up your chart, your moon sign, your ascending, like something there may be resonating with you. Go back in and just listen through and find yours. You can even scroll. Also remember, if you're on Facebook watching this is on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, that you can also leave stars. Please share out these videos. Facebook is finally, I'm tying. It's like Facebook is finally kind of setting me free a little bit again, giving me some breathing room again. And so I'm trying to just like take advantage of being able to get this out there now. So for anyone coming in late, what this live tonight was, and I do this once a month now, the beginning of each month, I will come in and do all of the monthly messages as long as it feels right. And so and I read energy. So being able to read energy and communicate the spirit, I ask what is needed for each sign and just be able to read through. So I've been in here for 2 hours. Go back, listen to every single sign is in here. There is each and every one. So go back, find your sign, listen to it. And if it resonates with you, then yay. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being with me. And there is a new video on YouTube. So on YouTube, there is the weekly message that was posted earlier today. That one is up. That's for this week. So if you have not listened, go listen to that. Please please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're new, if you're watching on Facebook, go to my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It does help me in being able to build this up so that I can keep doing what I'm doing. And then, of course, for anyone who's new, this is my first book called More Than Existing. And this is my second book, which hopefully we'll be able to have available to you soon. It is still in print and still in creation, but it is available and downloadable. So if you're okay with not holding the book and you want to download it, then you can download this book. But this book is fully available in softcover on Amazon. And yeah, I'm kind of really proud of these books. So this is My Truth of Existing Beyond Reflection and More Than Existing. This is a series of books. So if you read one, the second book is the second one, and there's more to follow. So that's where we are. And we have new programs that are being released and coming out in More Than Existing Academy, which is mteacademy.ca. I have the Diamond Effect starting Wednesday. It's a healing program. And then myself and Lisa have new programs that are coming out September. Lisa has an amazing human design class that is incredible. That's coming out in September. And then I have another Sunday one that will be also coming out in September, which is Leveling Up. It's another Goddess Within, a soul revival class. So go check out MTE Academy. We also have the 60% savings on many of the programs that are in there right now until tomorrow evening. So it ends on August the 30th. It is ended. So if you want to take advantage of those, go in and do that now as well. Mwah. Much love. Thank you. Thank you all. You are also welcome for those who are saying thank you. Much love. Have a beautiful rest of your week. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.